Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be teaching us how to make a calabash cake. Okay, so the first thing I did was apply buttercream on my board before placing my cake, and this is done on every cake you're working with because you don't want your cake slipping out of the board while you're working with it. I'm just using a very simple normal buttercream recipe we always work with. And I always cut off the top of the cake because it's usually too soft. It's advised you don't work with really soft cake at this point. You could toss your cake into the freezer if it's too soft to work with. And I'm placing skewers into my cake because I don't want the top part of the cake slipping out of the bottom part of the cake. This is a sphere cake and it's actually really tricky working with this kind of cake. So I had to stick in my big dowel because I don't want the cake moving about frequently. By the way, I'm making use of a palette knife to do this. You could work with whatever works for you. Once I'm done crumb coating, I apply corn flour to my work table. I work with a whole lot of corn flour most times, and I knead my fondant properly. I'm working with a pre-colored fondant. It's colored in chocolate brown. Using my small candlestick non-stick rolling pin, I spread out my fondant to the thickness I want. You would not want your fondant too light and you want it too thick either. Make it as thick as possible so your cake doesn't peek through the fondant, okay? Once I'm done, I place this on my cake. Then using the edge of my palm, I massage this gently onto the cake. Be so gentle about this. You won't want your cake coming out. You won't want your fondant tearing open. So be so gentle with this. Be really mild. Use your palette knife and cut out the excess fondant you've gotten out of this. See, there's a whole lot. This part, you have to be really patient because you don't want to rough handle your fondant. The sphere cake is actually very delicate. So be gentle, be mild. Take your time. Make use of your smoothener. You could make use of 2 smootheners. You could make use of 3. Tuck everything in. Smoothen the body of your cake. So at this point, I'm kneading my fondant because I'm going to use it to make the head of my calabash. Now there goes our CMC. CMC makes our fondant stiffer, especially if you want to mold something. So I'll roll my fondant into a ball. Then I'll cut out the excess. I'm going to roll a ball first because I want to get a perfect sausage. And that's why I'm cutting out the excess. Now I've cut out the excess. Using my palms against each other, I'll roll a sausage as thick as I want it to be. That thickness is very okay. Yeah, you could work with that thickness. Then with my finger, I'm going to pop a hole through the middle of my sausage, as deep as you want your calabash mouth to be. You can see. Then I'll start massaging it out. If you've seen a real palm wine gourd or a calabash, you would notice the mouth is actually not so thick. It's kind of a bit light and free. So that's what I'm trying to achieve right now. Okay, I think that'll do. Then using my thumb and my index finger, I'm going to squeeze out the downside of my sausage really thin. I want this really thin because it's going to go on the calabash itself. As light as possible. You have to be very patient while doing this. Using my palette knife, I cut out the excess because you don't want this so much on your cake. So we have to test it if it's okay there. So when you get what you want, apply a little edible glue. To know how to make your edible glue, just check the description box below. You'd see how I made my edible glue. Really simple. Then using the modeling tool, this part of the modeling tool. The modeling tool always comes with 2 sides. So I'm using this side, not the other round side. I'll smoothen this onto the other cake. Be so gentle with this, because if you use so much force at this point, you could tear open your already covered sphere cake. So be as gentle as possible with this. This method is called the flushing method. You're flushing one fondant into another, so it doesn't really overshadows the other one. You have to be so gentle with this. Spread it out as much as you want. You can see I'm making use of my smoother. When you're done, you use the smoother and make sure you're smoothing the body all around so everything sits down perfectly. Okay? Hey, that looks good. So that's my skewer. I'm using the skewer to measure how deep this calabash is, because I'm going to place a dowel into it. So when I get the right measurement, I'll place the skewer against my dowel. That's the length or the height I need, rather. So I'll place it against my dowel, the part marked with brown. Using my plier, I'll cut it out. Now the essence of this dowel is to help the head of the calabash stick to the sphere. And you see how it's protruding out. That's what we're going to work with. So I'm going to give the top of my calabash a little massage. And there we go. Now we have to visit the down of our sphere. We have to get it as smooth as possible. Be so patient. Carving a calabash cake has to take your time because it's artistic in a way. So be very patient about this, smoothing all around. Keep going round and round till you get it all smooth. You can see we still have some lines around there. So I'll make sure I smoothen all of that. After that, I would apply my brown color into my painting bowl with a little edible spirit or alcohol if you have any vodka around. Then I'm going to use my edible color and spirit and paint my calabash. I don't want my calabash this color. I need it really dark. By the way, you can get this brush from any cake shop. You can get it from any store at all. This is a very, very common brush. I use it just for my cakes. So this is giving my calabash a very, very beautiful effect, because I don't want it looking just brown. I want it to look more like it was sprayed. If you have an airbrush kit, you could make use of it at that point. So this is our white fondant. I'm going to apply vegetable shortening, aka Crisco, on the white fondant to make it really soft. This is going to be our palm wine that would pour out of the calabash. So using my fingers, I work with my fingers a lot at this point. I'll just keep placing the white fondant. You arrange it the way you want it on the cake, okay? How you want your palm wine to pour out of the calabash pan depends on you. I think I'm going to make a light one here, yeah, because I want it to be more like it's poured on the cake while it was being served. Yeah, so that's what we'll do there. Yeah. So still have to do a little more to look more like it was coming out. This is the first coating. After this, I'll still apply a little white fondant at the top again, because you can see the color has already changed because my hand kept touching the body of the sphere. It's best you allow this get dry first before you, once your calabash is dry, before you start applying the white part. Okay, yeah, I had to cover it again. I'm making it flatter this time. Then using my skewers, I bore holes round it, because a palm wine actually foams, so it's giving it that foamy effect. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video so far. Please kindly click the subscribe button, like, share, and invite your friends to. And please don't forget to turn up the notification button. Bye.